I asked if right care was in.
Okay, now what's going on? I mean, do you need them to come out? What's going on?
What's your name?
Operator 5-6.
That's not your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name?
5-6.
You're unwilling for me to have your name?
One moment.
It's 7. They claim that they're open now. Constant schemes. But see, like I said, when I wasn't recording, they wanted to be psychologically abusive is on purpose. So every single party was rude, hung up, placed me on hold, disregarded everything that I was saying. Hours and hours. I was homeless, terrified for my life. I would literally be on the phone maybe like 7 or 8 hours at least a day to get nowhere talking to scammers. Because I was homeless, trying to get off the streets, terrified for my life. So I invested a lot of time. And they purposely were going behind me, creating havoc. So now Right Care is supposed to be open. They don't want me to speak with Right Care. They were only scamming. They don't want me to have mental clarity. They want me to be tortured. That's why they're going behind me, having every location bully, mistreat, and violate. They do. Church don't validate her experience. They do. They don't. Don't talk to her about anything that you witness. They don't. You, in fact, you cover for it. They do.
My name is Felicia. I work for Right Care.
Oh, good. So what kind of services do you provide? I'm in a domestic violence situation and I'm not able to get, I'm blacklisted from services and support all over. I can't get an attorney and I have tried to, I don't want to go into a mental hospital. I just want therapy to deal with the trauma that I'm forced to be subjected to. What kind of assistance can you give me?
Well, we can get you connected to a provider so that you can have a doctor. They can assist with medication management, and we can get you connected to a safe place like a shelter. Like there's Genesis, there's a family place, and that can get you away from the violent situation and put you into safe housing.
Okay, I'm blacklisted from all domestic violence locations. Can you help with that? Out of corruption, they won't give me services. Period.
Which locations won't give you
all
services?
of them. All of them. I was arrested at New Beginnings. I went to Plano. Was police interrupted there. Genesis scheme, so I couldn't have services. A family place, Tyler Prevention, in a location in Texarkana, Grand Prairie, a multitude of places, Garland. Every place that I've ever been to has deprived me of services. All the family place locations have deprived me in sabotage services. A place in Irving.
Oh, did they tell you why they didn't provide you
There's
services?
conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes. I'm blacklisted from services when I got arrested that first time and assaulted for attending the domestic violence support group. Yes. Ever since then, they just scheme and have whatever location I'm at. They use government resources to premeditate where I'm going and entice that location to deprive me of services.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you're going through that. Let's see. In addition to, I'm trying to see if there's any other domestic violence locations outside of the ones that you mentioned.
Is there any way that you could like place me? Because like used to be social workers help you place you, directed you to an individual. Now it's a bottomless pit, and they don't do that anymore. So now what they do, instead of getting someone on the line with integrity that will assist you like they used to do, they try so hard but can't seem to come up with a solution for years. They just can't find it. No one knows anyone. They have no name for years. They have no contact. They can't do leg work. You used to be in a room and you sit on the phone with the party, or they make calls and they place you on hold and they said, look, you need to speak with so and so. They will help you. But ever since I've been in this, it has not happened. They want to go separate and then come back and tell me that they called and can't get a hold of anyone. They don't want, and then they're scheming. It's like they're scheming to deprive me of services and assistance, which would be criminal.
Yes, it would be. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, and it's definitely not the case. It's especially with me.
Okay, well then,
Okay, so
I just, are you able to like place me with someone? You're with a social worker. Do you have a name of anyone
my
at
name is
these
my name
locations?
is my name is
Do
Felicia
you have
again.
a name of anyone at these locations?
Do I have a name of a specific person in one of
Right,
these locations?
right.
No.
Okay, so you're a
So,
social worker, but you don't know anyone that assists with domestic violence?
well, again, I can provide you resources. I can't guarantee that those resources are going to be able to secure you housing. As you already pre-stated, you've already encountered issues involving police where you've had to be removed from those facilities. So can I go around it? No.
I don't think that. I think there's a disconnect. You said that I incurred. It's like you're covering for it, ma'am, because you said I had an experience where I had to be removed from the experience.
Well, no, ma'am. I'm providing the statement that you provided to me. Now, if you would like
No,
to go over
ma'am. I
resources,
think there's a disconnect because police abusing power to assault and arrest someone at domestic violence location is not me having to be removed. It's criminal activity. Assaulting
okay.
me,
So,
and
ma'am, let's
I
let's
don't know
let's
how we're
let's
going to move forward if
let's
you're covering for the
let's
crimes.
use let's use our resources to kind of
I
focus
thought that
on
that was your
how we're.
responsibility as a social worker to assist and not cover for abuse.
Um,
What was your name again?
okay, my name is Felicia.
Okay, so if Felicia, if everywhere I go they're covering for crimes, what am I supposed to do?
Ma'am, let's focus on how we're going to get you help so that that doesn't happen to
This
you
is
again.
help, ma'am. If we need to get the police under control and figure out why you're covering for crimes and deflecting, and why so many parties do that, even at church.
Even at church. So
At
what happens
church, when
when
I
you go
was
to
drug out of
church?
IBOC, Inspiring Body of Christ Church, and then thrown outside on concrete, isn't that an assault?
Is that what happened to you when you went to those churches?
If someone drugged me out of a church, my legs dangling on the ground, dragging me out in front of the congregation, and throwing me outside on concrete, is that considered assault? On camera footage?
I couldn't comment. I can neither confirm
Oh,
nor
you're a
deny.
social worker
I
and you don't
wasn't a
know if that
party
would be
to it.
assault?
I can't give a comment either way. I wasn't there to make a comment.
It's
So
not a
let's see how
comment.
we.
If someone drugged me out of a church and threw me outside on concrete, if that happened, would that be assault?
As a social worker, sorry, my job is not to comment on the law, but to provide you resources. So
The law
let's
won't
use our
comment on the law. I can't get anyone to comment on it, even at church. That's why it happened.
So let's use our time together to try to find you resources. Do you have safe housing for tonight?
Well, I think that we're deflecting because I think the major part of it is assaulting someone at church and getting advocacy and support with that.
Yes, ma'am. Now I apologize because initially I believed that our goal was to find you safe housing.
I have my own place now. Now that I'm housed, a multitude of parties want to give me the housing now. But when I was on the streets, desperate and afraid for my life, I wasn't offered that.
I apologize.
Sure.
And unfortunately, it's hard for us to go back in the past.
How are we going to
address those
combat me
issues.
getting arrested and assaulted at a domestic violence support group, ma'am?
I can get you connected to a domestic support group if that's something that you would like.
And so, domestic violence support group, there's no protection orders or no kind of ways to combat police corruption involved in abuse?
Well, you would have to give that to an officer and provide those specific.
So I need to contact to get support with domestic violence that officers are involved with. Contact the officer.
You're able to obtain that support, ma'am. You have to speak to the officer to obtain that.
Okay, so to combat domestic violence, now you no longer speak with advocates. You go to corrupt, bully police and demand to be helped with domestic violence through police that are already bullies.
Okay, so let's see if we can kind of work with some of those faulty ideas.
So now domestic violence organizations don't help women fleeing for abuse. Neither do social workers, which is your position, I assume. You don't. What you have to do is refer me back to the police.
So let's
because you weren't available some of those ideas earlier.
So you're requesting that a social worker.
I thought you were a social worker, ma'am. You were a social worker a few minutes ago. Are you not a social worker?
I am, but I'm asking you a simple question.
Okay, I don't. It's like, ma'am, that you're like I've experienced years for parties pretending like they are trying to assist, but actually they're sabotaging services and assistance for years.
I understand. I
So, what are
understand.
we going to get? You know that I'm a part of a domestic abuse situation that involves corruption in the police, that I was arrested and assaulted, attending a domestic violence support
And you've
group.
obtained resources and you've obtained support for that. And if you would like more support for those services, then I can assist you with it. If you
Okay,
want an
what can you do,
understanding of the
ma'am?
law and the
What
people
can you do,
who
ma'am?
can
What can
assist
you do,
you
ma'am?
advocate for
I'm pressed for
justice
time.
almost,
What can you do, ma'am?
well, I can get you connected to resources. You already have safe housing. If you would like resources for therapy, I can provide you that. If you would like resources for medication management, I can assist you for that. If you want assistance for, let's say, a diagnosis, a specific diagnosis, I can provide you
Oh,
assistance
this
for
is how
that.
it's been going,
If
ma'am.
you
That's
would
what the
like,
church said. That's what Parkland Victims Intervention said. They said to rescue me from the domestic violence, I had to be on psych meds. Then
those things that happened
when
in
I
the
got on the
past,
psych, when I was forced to take
we're
the
talking
psych
about the
meds,
present. We're talking
ma'am,
about
I'm
right
just letting you
now.
know my experience, ma'am. Then when I got on the psych meds, when I was forced to be on the psych meds, then they said they couldn't help me because I was mentally ill. City Square said required me to be mentally ill to get services. There's a multitude of parties that only want me to help me with mental illness, but will not help me with the abuse.
You would have to go
So
to
I
those
don't
parties themselves
understand what
specifically and ask them.
meds. I was on the meds and I was deprived of counseling meds. I was still getting tortured. It really didn't help a lot. I just think that it would be more productive to have consequences for these people, but instead, multiple parties like the church, they wanted me to go to a mental hospital, the Loving Church. They ducked and dodged me for a long time. Then finally, the resource that they offered was a referral to a mental hospital. So how now in 2022 does meds in mental hospitals, how can that, prevent domestic violence? Because I'm still experiencing it. Even when I did take the meds, was forced to take the meds, and even with being framed for mental illness, I was still in it. So the meds aren't helping, man. I'm still getting violated every day, every single
Okay.
day. Time I
Well,
hit that door, they're waiting on me for chaos.
they're
And
waiting.
even while I'm in, even other things that I can't report. So I've already tried your way, taking meds to help you guys, help you frame me. I've already took the meds, forced into taking meds, and I've already got assistance with Metro Care, ma'am. I'm still getting tortured. I still feel the pain. I still can't see my daughter after taking your meds and after doing all this chaos. I still can't see her. So your all these people recommendations for meds, mental hospital. Like my sister said, go to Green Oaks for help. When I was begging for my life with her, my son told me that in order for me to speak with him, go get help mentally. I did, and he still concocted something else for us not to speak. But in the past, he was having mental breakdowns, crying. Then all these people ignored it. Then my other son got hit with the car. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with my family. Maybe it has something to do with all these emotional breakdowns that people keep ignoring. I'm not quite sure. Everywhere I go on the planet, they want me to take meds and still thinking that is going to remove all the pain and suffering I've been through and currently undergoing. So I'm not quite sure. The mental
Medication
health
management can only do a
aspect is
portion of it.
vital.
Therapy.
Yes, I understand that. That's why I'm calling, but we're still band-aiding the issue of me being violated and forced into corruption. If you're a social worker, I don't know why I would be deprived of any assistance with that and then referred over to pain medication management and all of that chaos that I've been referred to for years.
Those
I
are
still
resources.
feel the pain, man. Even with the medication management, I still get tortured. So can we
Medication
get solutions
management is
for
only
that?
one portion of a resource. So, what is your name?
It's Kiana. I mean, I did say a lot of abuse
Kiana,
that I
what's
was
your
going.
last name, Kiana?
Clark.
And Ms. Clark, what's your date of birth? Services through Dallas Metro Care. Do you have a caseworker at Dallas Metro Care?
Okay, so out of all the things that I said, I did say that I want help with the domestic violence, and then you're asking me if I've been to Green Oaks. Then you're asking.
Those are all resources.
So you're unwilling. Okay, so you're unwilling to. No one on the planet, period. Not churches, no one on the planet. I'm not allowed any DV assistance. Okay, I get that. Not allowed, period. So what are we willing to do for the mental aspect? Since I'm not allowed, I don't have value enough to have any DV help, period.
What makes you feel like
everywhere on the planet.
What I've said that you're not?
So let's moving forward. Since you are unwilling, period, to help me, period, as well as every location I've ever been to, even the family violence, family violence, and child abuse division deprived me of it and forced me to leave, pushing and shoving. I'm not allowed, period, anywhere that I've been to. Okay, I get that. So what are you willing to help me with? Only the mental health part. So what are you willing to help me with in the mental health part?
Well, I would love to get you connected to what exactly is it that you're looking for as far as services?
Am I allowed to get help with trauma for domestic abuse? Is that
You definitely are.
okay? Well, I like that.
Okay. Let me get you connected to. So there's Hope's Door New Beginnings. It offers victim services, which includes legal advocacy.
Ma'am, if this could have been planned, because if people were to look at the paperwork, they'll see how Genesis referred me to the family place. Hope's Door New Beginning, I was assaulted at, and in the Plano location, the police came to interrupt. If someone could have planned this and set up these calls, which we know is kind of impossible, for that to be the first location that I was violated, but you're requesting that I go to Hope's Door New Beginnings, ma'am, where I was assaulted and arrested for attending a domestic violence support group?
I do apologize that you had that encounter there.
Okay.
I had no way of knowing.
Sure.
Well,
if a psycho abuser could set this up, this would be like a horror movie, ma'am. To consistently get ignored, and if he can do this openly, what else has he done? What else has the government been enlisted to help this man get away with? But okay, Hope's Door New Beginning, we can't get any help, period, at all in DV. I get that. I haven't been for years. Blacklisted completely. So the first party location was Hope's Door New Beginning that you came up with just randomly out your mind. So no, that's not going to work because I was arrested and assaulted there. Any other avenues?
Yes, let's take a look at
Family Place isn't good, or Genesis. All of them have deprived me of services. All of them, ma'am. So, but there's no possible way you can get someone on the line and get a resource of someone that has integrity and won't deprive me of services.
Well, I can't get someone on the line for you. What I can do is I can provide you their address and their phone number so that you can reach out to them.
You're a social worker and you won't do any legwork to get someone on the line?
I won't.
Oh, well, that's what I'm requesting because my life ain't normal, ma'am. I don't have a life like normal people. I don't have a life like normal. Can we meet in person and then we call the locations on the phone? Like people...
I can get someone to meet you in person.
Okay. So if they meet in person, are they going to call and get me advocacy like they used to do? Or am I not allowed what they give other women? I'm sorry? Ma'am, I want to know if I can be treated like other women fleeing abuse are treated. Are they able to call and get me linked with a party instead of just giving me numbers to call on my own? I don't have a normal life like most women.
It's definitely within their power to call.
Okay, let's see how this works, ma'am.
So what's the address that you would like for them to come out to?
I've already called in earlier, and they were supposed to be sending someone out. If this wasn't really productive, I thought, I can get more DV help. But, the corruption is so extreme, I'm blacklisted from it. And calling for help on your phone, getting hung up on, speaking with, ma'am, you're a social worker, you need to know what's going on. Calling victim witness programs, trying to get in witness protection, them playing games. Calling the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and then them playing games, hanging up, covering for crimes, calling all over the United States, and every party I'm calling is covering up for crimes and depriving me of services for years. You have to see it to believe it.
So this is a separate call. So in order for us to assist you on this call, you have to provide us the resources that we need to assist you with.
You have to I'm not quite sure what you're asking me.
The first resource that we need is your address that you would like for us to send right now.
Okay, so even though I already called prior and they're sending someone else out, I need to do it again?
They may be able to connect with the previous phone call and send right here to that address.
Okay, I just called you for more information, and it's difficult when the parties, every last one, is covering for crimes. I don't know how this happens, man. So they interrupt, they're rude, mistreat.
I'm trying to determine where the crime occurred.
They interrupt, they're rude, mistreat, gaslight, psychological abuse, and it's hard when people that are supposed to protect you are enlisted to commit crimes with whatever's going on and work for the abuser. You have to see it to believe it. So, okay, ma'am, I have to give I'm blacklisted. I don't have rights like other women. So the only thing that you guys are willing to give me is mental health. I wasn't getting that in the past. So at least we'll see how this works. We'll see how it works. Because I don't have services. I don't have rights before COVID. Okay, ma'am, thank you.